So, when we talk about a word having different meanings, we have to distinguish whether it is due to polysemy or to homonymy. And here are the standard definitions of those two concepts. All right? Polysemy is if a single form, okay, a word you may call it, has two or more senses, and the important thing is they all derive from the same root. Okay? Once again, and the meaning has in a way broadened or narrowed, or well, they have split, whatever. Homonymy is something different insofar as words look the same, but they go back to a different root. Okay, two words share the same form, but derive from a different etymon. And in order to make this more explicit, let's have a look at a few examples. Okay, here we go. Simple sentence, okay, John reads well. And the question is, of course, what meaning does the verb have here? And you see, this may very much depend on the context this sentence is uttered in, okay? Just think about it. If John is a child and you say John reads well, it means, well, he can read a text and get the meaning, okay? So he is a good reader insofar as that he understands what is written. But if he is a teenager, for example, and taking part in a reading competition, then reading would be he reads well loud. He reads out loud so that it's a pleasure to listen to him reading out a story or something like this. Okay, so this simple sentence, John reads well, and you can come up with various other meanings and connotations of the verb read. But what we get here is that there is, if you just have the sentence out of context, there is a certain vagueness. Okay, what is meant? A fuzziness, you may call it, and we call this polysemy. Okay, this sort of fuzziness of meaning which is dependent on the context. Well, and just think of something else. I mean, I can't read his face, for example. Another meaning of read, which is more metaphorical. So, yes, in a way, context is important for the meaning. But still, it's a polysemy because, I mean, these various meanings of read, they go back to the same root. And if you like, we can have it the other way around, for reading. So let's consider this. Write. Okay, to write a letter, to write a book, or to write a song. But writing here is write does mean something quite different. Okay, if you consider the context here. To write a letter is to put letters on a piece of paper. Okay, just to write a letter by hand or something like this. But if you say to write a book, it's something else. I mean, you produce a piece of literature, which you may, I don't know, well, even dictate probably. Something like this. And if you then go to write a song, which is something completely different, because I mean, a songwriter certainly doesn't sit there and writing a song. Probably they compose it with the guitar in hand or on the grand piano or something like this. So there, write means compose. Okay, I think I made my point clear here. They go back to the same root, these meanings, and we call this polysemy. And there is a core meaning, you may say, to put something on paper. Okay, writing, this is the core meaning here. And then there are extended meanings, producing literature, compose, and so on. And if you go even further back, I don't know, to the etymology of write, okay, it means to carve in a stone. Could even go further back. But still, all those meanings here go back to the same core meaning and are extended meanings. Okay. Another concept we have to talk about is homophones. Okay, homophones is if words are pronounced the same but spelled differently. Okay, look at those. Well, various examples in English, because in English, I mean, yes, morphology has deteriorated a lot. Okay, and phonology was very much simplified during the last, I don't know, 1500 years, reducing consonant clusters and so on. English produced a lot of homophones. Okay? Here are a few. Night and night, and there and there. Look at those, here and here, bear and bear, poor and poor, sun and sun, none, none, done, done, you name them. I mean, this is the reason that English is a language which has so many play on words. Okay, because you have loads and loads of homophones. Many more than, for example, in German, because German still has all these endings and so on. It's very difficult, to produce homophones. There are a few, of course there are, but not as many as in English. Okay, so yes, the deterioration of grammar, if you like, prefixes, suffixes, and so on. Okay, plus the simplification in pronunciation during the last 1,000 years, okay, has produced loads of homophones in English. This is important for semantics too, because, I mean, you pun on them, and then you may have two words which are homophones, okay, and I mean, so even produce bawdy puns, as here, one of Shakespeare's favorites, tail and tail. A homophone, okay. But you remember what we said about homonyms, okay? That homonyms is a word which has two words, or one form, which has different roots, both of them, and therefore different meanings. Also, this is the cause for tail, but they are homophones. Homonyms, they are in spoken language, okay? In a spoken language, I would call them homonyms because, I mean, you cannot distinguish when you listen to them whether, when you have, well, in the absence of a context, whether tail means the sort of, I don't know, extension, okay, or a story or something. So this means they are certainly homophones, tail and tail, okay. I would say that in spoken language they are homonyms, but since they are spelled differently, okay, it could be argued whether they are homophones or homonyms, sorry, when you see them in writing, okay. There is a big debate about that. So once again, I'll look at that here, bat. Two meanings of bat, okay. One, this sort of bat, club, okay, which is used in cricket, all right. And the other one is, of course, the mammal, okay, the flying mammal, which you have here. Both certainly not related to one another, still the same form, and this would be a classical homonymy, okay. So you have one form, two different roots which have produced two different meanings. Okay? There is no relation between those two. They are also homographs, homography, something like this, because they are spelled the same. Okay? You cannot distinguish between bat and bat only, okay, by way of regarding the context. Okay, let's go on. Homographs, I just said this. Words which are spelt the same but pronounced differently, and there are quite a few in English, okay? There are just random examples here. Minute or minute, both spelt the same but pronounced differently, and meaning something completely different, okay? Wind and wind, same spelling, different pronunciation, therefore homographs, okay? Lead, or lead, the verb, or lead, the material, okay, or bow, okay, and bow, whether you, okay, kowtow, or whether you shoot a bow and arrow, okay, something like this. Okay, so the question is, this is something which has been debated for quite a long time whether it makes sense to distinguish between polysemy and homonymy at all. Okay? So why do I care? Why should I care whether the two words are etymologically related? Okay? I just mean something different, and so why should I care? Okay, and I've written that here. Specialists may care if two words are etymologically related. Okay? But what about average users of dictionaries who just want to know about a special meaning? Okay? What do they benefit from knowing whether they are related or not? And that's the question. And we have the example of beam, okay, which strictly speaking, okay, have polysemy because they go back to a root. Beam, tree, okay? But the meanings today, the two main meanings, yeah, a piece of timber and a ray of light, are so different and drifted apart so much that, well, they look like a homonymy, if you ask me. And in a way, believe me, dictionaries are undecided, yeah, whether they classify it as a homonymy or a homonymy or a polysemy. Strictly speaking, it's a polysemy. But why should I care at all with these two meanings being so different? Therefore, okay, it could make sense to distinguish between cognitive and etymological polysemy. So cognitive means, I mean, is there a polysemy that people are aware of? As far as beam is concerned, people certainly won't be aware of that, yeah? That there is a common root, because even the root has died out, okay? Tree, the meaning, tree, for beam, has died out. So, yeah, why should I care? So beam then would be, etymologically, yes, a polysemy. But cognitive, people wouldn't know. Therefore, cognitive, they wouldn't classify it as a polysemy. And therefore, it makes probably more sense to call it a homonymy. Okay? But you get the drift. Okay? So if you regard the user of a dictionary, well, he or she just doesn't care. Okay? What it is. Or look at right, okay, there is something else. I mean, they certainly, I mean, people would be aware that writing a book or writing a song or something like this, that they are related, okay, and therefore there is a common root. And this would be etymological polysemy and a cognitive polysemy, because people know, everybody would know, that to write a song or write a letter, okay, the two meanings are certainly related and go back to the same core meaning, which is more like writing a letter than writing a song. Okay, after this I would like to come to a digression, okay, if you, which concerns the relatedness, okay, of languages, because if you want to compare certain meanings, say in French and then the loan word in English, or I don't know, between German and English and so on, you need to know something about languages and how they are related phonologically, okay, in order to make out this is the same word, you see, in order to make out that pater and father is actually the same word. And therefore we have to look at certain sound changes in order to make out, okay, which two words in two different languages, say French and English or German and English, are the same words. If you don't want to know about these things, and you know about these, probably know about these things altogether, I'm talking about Grimm's Law here, then just forget about the next installment, okay, and go right on. Okay, all right, let's stop here. Thank you.